Good morning to all drivers worldwide, whether you're in the United States, whether you're in Canada, whether you're in Australia, South Africa, wherever you are. This letter here that Dara Khosrowshai sent to the president, sent to Congress, sent to us, is addressing a situation that's current in the United States. Obviously, he hasn't sent out letters to all the leaders of foreign countries. He hasn't sent a letter to the British Prime Minister. He hasn't sent a letter to the Australian Prime Minister. He hasn't sent a letter to the German Chancellor, Angela Merkel. He sent a letter to Trump. I don't want to be sarcastic here, but good luck with that letter to Mitch McConnell. And I don't want to get political here, but here I'll give you some facts, right? Mitch McConnell immediately created a stimulus package, which he wanted to rush through. And that's where basically they were just taking care of the cronies. Hotels get bailouts, airlines get bailouts, casinos get bailouts, et cetera, right? And the reason why this stimulus package is stalling right now is because the other side, Democrats, want more help for hospital nurses, doctors, et cetera. And you know, it's the typical wrangling between Democrats and Republicans. And I just say, both of you get your shit together. I'm saying Republicans and Democrats, get your shit together, because it's people like us, it's drivers like us that are waiting, right? If you're sending out a once-off check, you guys will burn through that immediately. It maybe covers your rent and a little bit of food, right? It's not like you're getting money or being promised money each month. Now, Dara, Kaye did two things, and they don't go far enough. In fact, they don't even scratch the surface. He is not big, he's not bold enough to make big decisions within the company, right? He tries to, what they call, divert, let somebody else solve it for him. You don't. As a true leader, you solve the issues yourself, right, in your company. You cannot always rely on people to bail you out, right? Oh, built a business, failed it. Hey, I need bailout money. Give me bailout money, right? We've seen that already with the auto industry. Unless these companies that get bailed out pay a big price, a high interest for bailing them out, why even go through the process? Oh, every time you fail, you get bailed out, right? So, there has to be a consequence for a company. Now, in these times, obviously, this is really not mismanagement by companies in the United States. This is a whole unforeseen factor which cripples the economy, right? So you can't say, okay, well, this is truly poor leadership. But when I look at Uber or Lyft, right, and Dara Khosrowshai says, well, I made the phone calls, I asked Trump, right? Firstly, if I read you the verbiage, there's two letters here. The one he talks about, he wants his employees that he has to lay off, his employees that he lays off, he wants them to have full salaries. And by the way, can you also include the drivers, right? I'll read you the letter, right? The letter that he sent off to the politicians. The other letter that you guys got says, I'm going to read it and then we're going to address it. It says, I know the last few weeks have been difficult for everyone, and especially for many of you who drive and deliver with Uber. I have the deepest gratitude for the work you're doing right now. Firstly, this is the very, very first letter ever. This is the very, very first time ever the CEO has addressed you. He's talking to you, right? He never talked to you, the driver. So this is a breakthrough. Does it mean anything after I finish the whole letter? No. But is this a breakthrough that he actually acknowledges you and says, gratitude, actually says thank you to the driver for the work you're doing right now? It's never been done before by Dara Khosrowshai because he doesn't understand that type of language. But the bottom line is this letter, he was forced to write this letter, right? He had no option. He had to come out, right? Because the silence was killing their company. So he had to come out. There might be significantly fewer trips, but they are immensely important. So, okay, there might be significantly fewer trips. But guess what? They're immensely important right now. You need to go out there and carry them out, right? While we continue getting paid full salaries, while we continue laying off people and ask for full salaries for these individuals. It's very important that you go out and keep on working. Dara, Kaye, let me remind Tony West what you guys did on the last day of 2019. Let me remind everyone in this room what they did. They sued the state of California, and hopefully California was laying the groundwork for all states, for all countries worldwide, for all cities, is that if they wanted to classify you as an independent contractor, they needed to do more. They needed to give you workers' rights. They needed to give you a say. They needed to give you sick leave. They needed to give you medical coverage, blah, 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 right? But what did Uber instead do? What did Lyft do? They sued California because they did not want to comply. They did not want to take care of you. So the true colors were shown in the last days of 2019, right? So whatever you concocting here is covering up your bullshit in December, is covering up your lie, is covering up your intention that you had in December, namely not to help the drivers in any fashion, in any way, but to enrich in the company. Look, we're not stupid, right? You can't fool us. We've been fooled again and again, like they say, once bitten, twice shy. We've been bitten 67 times by this company. We know how they operate, right? So a letter like this is just to give you a little bit of a fuzzy feeling, a little bit of a wonderful feeling for a few hours, and then it subsides, doesn't really do anything. And I'm gonna get really into this, even from a psychological point, right, and break this down, because this is a cover-up letter, right? This is a shifting blame letter. Oh, by the way, I'm doing something for you. I'm asking them, they need to act now. Congress and administration need to act for you, right? Let me repeat this. Mitch McConnell drew up and this guy needs to go. Out of all Democrats, Republicans, the real troublemaker, is truly Mitch McConnell, because there's no reason why Mitch McConnell should have made over $27 million in the last years. This guy takes care of his cronies, his buddies, right? What he wrote in that stimulus package, not really looking after the American citizen, not looking after the doctors and the nurses. No, he's looking for bailouts over a half, out of that 1 trillion, over half of that for his corporate buddies, right? So, we got to get Mitch McConnell out there. I can tell you it will be way better for this country. No matter where you stand, if you're Democrat and Republican, Mitch McConnell is a troublemaker. He could have automatically said, hey, we know how important gig workers are. We know how important nurses are. We know how important doctors are. We know hospital staff is really important. Now let's help them. And instead, he's writing bailouts for casinos, for hotels, for airlines, etc. It's wrong. It's not taking care of the little guy, right? And by the way, it's our dollars. Just understand this. It's our tax dollars. The tax dollars that you guys pay, that is funding all of this, right? We paying into the system. So this is not a free handout. This is money we've paid into the system. Now we're getting some of it back, right? So it's not like, oh, you need to be grateful for this money. No, it's money we work for. It's money we put into the system, right? So granted, we should be getting a lot of that stuff back right now, right? There might be significantly fewer trips, but they are immensely important. You're getting essential workers to their shifts and home again. You're helping to keep restaurants open for takeout and delivery. You're getting food to people staying home, and you're doing all of this while trying to keep your own world together. Go out there, bring in the money, fulfill those trips, right? We're going to keep on paying ourselves $45 million, right? I've urged this guy, right? Did you guys see my press release? I told him to give up a portion of their executive salary. That, my friends, is a solution. All of the executives, you don't need to make $45 million a year. Make 5, give up the other $40 million. I showed these guys in the last 2 days how to create a fund of $1 billion. Dara and his executives don't want to give up a cent. The greed continues. That is the solution. If you want a solution, if you want to be a great CEO, if you want to be known as a leader, you give up 80 to 90% of your money. All of you executives, right? Employees, give up 10%. You wouldn't be paid these salaries without us, right? So those are real solutions. Instead of saying, oh, I wrote a letter to Congress. Oh, I wrote a letter to President Trump asking him for money. Good luck with that. How long? When will we get some answers on that? What's immediate is that you have the ability to wire a huge part of your salary, of all the employees' monies, into a fund. What you have the ability to do yesterday, had you acted on my letter, is increase the rider rates by 20% and say, listen, this is a danger fee. Understand this 20% extra is going into a fund to help drivers, right, that maybe cannot work right now. Instead, what they do is, in their verbiage, go out there, get the trips, get sick. And if you're sick, come back to us and prove that you're sick, and then maybe we'll pay you out. That's wrong. So he says, as the CEO of Uber, as the chief executive officer of Uber, I'm accountable to many, but I believe my greatest responsibility is to you and the millions of people who drive and deliver with Uber around the world. Never, ever in his lifetime has he used that verbiage. He is forced to use that verbiage right now. That's why today I wrote this letter to President and leaders in Congress. I'm urging them to include new protections and benefits for everyone who earns on platforms like Uber in any coronavirus economic relief packages. I've spent the weekend calling members of Congress from both parties to advocate for this and for you. Right? I'm fighting for you. We don't have all the answers, but we're moving as fast as we can on solutions to help you. I disagree with it. He says we don't have all the answers, but we are moving as fast as we can on solutions to help you. Dara, you wrote this letter on the 23rd of March. How long have you known about this virus? Why are you making the phone calls now? Why didn't you make the phone calls a month ago? Too little, too late in my eyes, right? This here stinks of poor leadership. It really does. It's basically diverting and saying, hey, let's get this aid somewhere else. We're not going to take care of you. So thank you again for the work you're doing to keep our communities moving, and please keep safe, Dara K. Now, on the other hand, the letter that he writes, right? He writes to these people, he says, our laws should protect all workers, not just one type of work. While I recognize that the administration and Congress have many pressing issues before them, I urge you to act quickly to provide protections for independent workers, and in your ongoing efforts to consider legislative action on a third way that would update our labor laws to remove the forced choice between flexibility and protection for millions of American workers. We are already working with lawmakers and governors in various jurisdictions across the United States on similar legislation that would require companies like ours to provide protections and benefits to our independent contractors. You see, so he is rigid. He will not let go of the words independent contractors. He knows under the terminology of independent contractors, he does not have to put that money into a rainy day fund. He doesn't have to pay out sick leave. He doesn't have to pay benefits, right? And hence, if I really want to break this down to the basics, he filed a lawsuit at the end of 2019, suing the state that was trying to bring you the necessary protections, right? So their intentions were very, very clear that they did not want to pay for medical leave, etc., etc. Even when the worst of this crisis is behind us, our nation and the entire world will undoubtedly have changed. Our economy will not look the same. And if we can't restore it, we must remake it. Business leaders like myself must rise to meet that challenge, using technology to bring economic opportunity to as many Americans as possible, while helping to resolve long-standing structural problems that have left so many people without a real safety net. Uber is ready and committed to doing our part to help foster and protect work for millions of our fellow citizens. I'm counting on your leadership to help realize that promise. Let's read this phrase. I'm counting on your leadership to help realize that promise. I'm going to tell you now, Dara, is that 3 to 4 million drivers are counting on your leadership to help realize that promise towards drivers. Don't divert the problem to somewhere else. You guys can solve it within your company. Up the rates of riders today, call that a danger pay, additional fee, 20%. And like many CEOs have done in the past, they've relinquished their salaries. As a token, many CEOs have said, I will work for $1 for that year, and the rest of the money I will put into the cause, right? It is time for these individuals to step up and put 80 to 90% of that $45 million that they are getting annually into the cause, right? Now you multiply that by all Uber executives, all Lyft executives, right? And if you would take a small portion, just 10% from all the employees, right, which we are paying, by the way, we're going out and doing the trips, you have created a fund of $1 billion. I've run the math. I've looked at all their salaries, right? On top of that, if you calculate in 20% additional on every trip as a sort of a danger fee that goes into a COVID-19 rideshare driver fund, it's even bigger than $1 billion. But to turn to the administration and say, hey, we need a bailout for our employees that we are laying off. We need a bailout for these drivers. That's just diverting the problem, right? That help, who knows when that will come. It might come in form of $1,000 check. But by the way, those are your taxes that you paid in. So you deserve that $1,000 back. And guess what? You're going to burn through that $1,000 in 90 days. That's reality, right? Do you think they're going to then send you the next $1,000 check and create the next stimulus? No. Listen, I got this one guy just spamming the page here. Boom, there we go. Bye-bye. I have a troll in the house. Yeah. Flashed him already. Manca travel. Flush, 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 flush. We did. But let me just give him a symbolic flush. Yeah, let's give him a symbolic flush. Yeah. Let's give him a symbolic flush. His name's Strange for Plays. Strange for Plays, where are you? He's floating around in the toilet. Very, very wet and stinky. Very wet and stinky. There he is. Now all together now. Flush, 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 flush. Is he gone? Oh, here's a stubborn floaty. A part came back up. And another one. Yep, there he goes into the deep sewage pipes. Adios. That's how we get rid of the trolls, right? Flush, 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 flush. So how do you guys feel about this? How do you feel about this? Are they solving the problem? Are they simply diverting? Right? How do you feel about this? Chris Buerta, my South African friends, I'm praying for all of you. I have a lot of friends and family there. South Africa on lockdown. Africa's being hit hard. Flush that ass. Exactly. Chris Buerta, I love my South African friends checking in. It's just like it's a bond. Lived there for 16, 17 years. So good times. I had the best times. And so the craziest times, the best times. I mean, wow. My years in South Africa were both amazing and intense. I tell you that. Crazy, crazy times. Tamara tailing, diverting. That's it. Just said it, nailed it right there. Boom, on the head. Tamara Taylor says he's diverting. Folks, he has the ability to do great things, right? How many CEOs do you know that have taken $1 salary and all the executives have taken $1 salary? we're not asking him to take $1 salary. Why doesn't he just take a $5 million salary and put the rest, the 40, Jonathan says, Dara, scumbag, which it is. This letter says, guys, go out there, keep on driving, keep on bringing the money. We need you, right? It's sort of using reverse psychology. You helping restaurants open for food. You're getting food to people. We need you right now. This is all on you, right? Like you're trying to give us a guilty conscience that like if we don't drive, the people are not getting food. If we don't drive, they're not getting medical help. Using like reverse psychology on us. Come on, we're not stupid. We're not dumb, right? Have I seen Dara drive across town and bring someone to the hospital? Have I seen Dara or Tony drive across town to go and pick up food and bring it to a home? I haven't seen them do that. No, but they're sitting there in their mansions, making a couple of calls, thinking this all, we'll write them a letter. We'll tell them we made a couple of calls. We'll tell them that I actually wrote a letter to the president. And let's see if the president will help you. We need help yesterday, right? So what you can do if you're a true leader right now, I challenge you, lives over dollars, not dollars over lives, is to put money into this fund. Up the riders' rates 20%. They will understand that they have to pay a premium right now, right? Put that into a fund that goes to all the drivers, depending on their average hours, etc. You can pay out. And definitely have all your employees take a cut, and all your executives should give up at least 80%, right? That's an immediate solution to put about $1 billion, $1.5 billion into a fund right now where you take responsibility and just don't divert, I phoned this congressman and I phoned Trump and I phoned Nancy Pelosi and I phoned Turtleneck McConnell and I phoned Schumer. Oh yeah, they will sort out the problems for you. Bullshit. Those two sides, they only take the Republicans and the Democrats. They're only taking care of their own corporate buddies right now, right? They're not even. There's nothing even written into that stimulus that takes care of doctors and nurses. Shame on them. Those are people that are truly in the front line, dropping like flies. Over like 600 doctors and nurses in Italy, dead. Where's the stimulus for them? They're there every single day, dropping. I could do this 600 times, and that would only cover Italy, right? Shame on them. Fucking, this guy's like a little fly. Like a fly around shit. Had to flush him again. Just that was a real stubborn piece of shit. He just floated straight back up. Dumbass is back, yeah. Motherfucker this guy's a stubborn motherfucker. Jesus. The dumbass is back. How does this little turd? Okay, I flushed him again. That was a stubborn. That little fucker was stubborn. He came up several times. I don't know how he managed to crawl up the sewage pipe, but she said it was one of the most stubborn pieces of shit I've ever dealt with. Gotta have some friends here, right? So, Dara, little too late, and don't divert. Please don't divert. Please take responsibility within your own company, right? Because you can't rely on the Mitch McConnells and Schumers to create some miracle fund for drivers, right? We can't rely on that. We can't rely on Mitch McConnell and Schumer to create a miracle fund for drivers. What we can rely on, and what we are looking for you, is that you sacrifice right now. Even if Dara's been there for a few years, let's say he's just been there for 3 years, multiply that by 45 million. That's $135 million you have in your accounts or tied up in real estate or whatever. You don't have to be that greedy, right? If you're expecting to get that next $45 million paycheck, maybe in 2021, after we get through this, help us get through this, right? Same for all the others. Same for Kristen's Verchek, same for John Zimmer, same for Logan Green, same for Tony West, same for Mr. Chai, same for Katie Weitzman, same for Randall Heimovicki, all of you guys. Sacrifice some dollars and put it into a real fund so that these people can sleep at night, so that these drivers who are performing miracles out there are taken care of. Chris Bowman's in the house. Good morning to you. Alan Mills, good morning to you. Gerald A. Gerald, no question in my mind that evil runs the planet. Yeah, and sadly, we have to battle evil here. So many people have emailed me, wanted a free copy of the newspaper database. Remember, I told you I paid about $4,500 for that a few years ago. I get it updated every year. I've sent out probably 20 copies. It's a free copy. I'm going to and use those newspaper editors, for your own business. Use it to draw up your own press releases. Get it out to, Chris Bowman says, these greedy douches do not know how to give. No, they don't. They just take. They don't want to give up a cent or a penny or a dollar. So, hey, you know what? Let Mitch McConnell and Schumer sort that out for you. Well, good luck with that, right? They're taking care of their hotel buddies. They're taking care of their casino buddies. They're taking care of their airline buddies. They're taking care of their crude oil, gasoline, Chevrons, Mobiles, Texaco. They're taking care of those guys, right? Those guys really need it. I mean, they truly need it, right? That money. DJ Danny. GFY. I got a lot of trolls in here today. Well, let me read it to you. Let me read. Somebody says he cannot read it to you, so he cannot read it. So let me read it. This is what Dara K writes. I know the last few weeks have been difficult for everyone, and especially for many of you who drive and deliver with Uber. I have the deepest gratitude for the work you're doing right now. There might be significantly fewer trips, but they are immensely important. You're getting essential workers to their shifts and home again. You're helping to keep restaurants open for takeout and delivery. You're getting food to people staying home, and you're doing all this while trying to keep your own world together. As the CEO of Uber, I'm accountable to many, but I believe my greatest responsibility is to you, really, and the millions of people, I'm laughing, and the millions of people who drive and deliver with Uber around the world. Jesus, I'm laughing. That's why today I wrote this letter to President and leaders in Congress. I'm urging them to include new protections and benefits for everyone who earns on platforms like Uber and any coronavirus economic relief packages. I spent the weekend calling members of Congress from both parties to advocate for this and for you, to advocate for you. Well, firstly, he actually in the beginning asked for help for his laid off employees, right? And then I read the letter to the Congress, and then he asked for help for the drivers. Good luck on that one. Good luck on that one. Good luck on that one. We don't have all the answers, but we are moving as fast as we can on solutions to help you. This includes measures, both big and small, from working to secure enough disinfectant for your cars. Really? You're bringing up disinfectant again, and you've done shit. You promised us that a while ago. We haven't seen anything. You said we would be able to pick this up at hubs, and then you closed down the hubs. This guy is a fucking fool, man. This includes measures both big and small, from working to secure enough disinfectant for your cars to providing financial support if you're diagnosed with coronavirus. We promise to keep you informed in the weeks ahead. Thank you again for the work you're doing to keep our communities moving, and please keep safe. Please keep safe. Dara K, CEO. So there it is. And then I'll also leave for you the link where he I want Kaye to understand that him and his legal team with Tony West sued the government, right? Sued the state to not have to comply, so that they didn't have to comply with those bills that would have put medical help, etc., sick leave, right? So your true intentions were showed in the last days of 2019 in December. Those were your true intentions. Coronavirus had just started in China at that time, mid-December. You wrote a letter at the end of December. I need to remind you about that letter. So it wasn't actually a letter. You filed a lawsuit. You were the plaintiff, and the defendant was the state of California, right? And you made it very, very clear that you had no intention to pay for medical leave or sick leave or anything like that, right? And now his company is hitting rock bottom. Now he's getting so much pressure. We've been calling him out every day. All the YouTubers have been calling him out. He's been quiet. I've been hammering him 24/7 with the big hammer, hammering Dara. Today he comes out with a letter. And this letter is the greatest diversion tactic. It's called diverting, right? Not taking responsibility for the shit in your camp, right? But saying, oh, we need a bailout, right? Bailouts, obviously, Alex, trust me, I'm hammering him every day. I'm going to hammer him right out of his office, right? We're going to get rid of this guy. Watch, we're going to put on so much pressure. I showed you by the way, if you want that database that I was talking about, email me. I sent it out to about 20 people last night. I sent the press release out to about the same 20 people. But if you want to push the press release out, if you want to write your own press releases, there, email me. Right after this feed, I will send you free copies. And remember, I want to give back. I want to empower you, right? I bought this for my company several years ago. I get a free update every year. It's about 300,000 newspaper editors worldwide. And you can use it for press releases if you're starting a company, if you want to get something out there. It's very, very powerful, right? Direct emails of all of these newspaper editors, and sometimes multiple emails at the LA Times, multiple emails of different, if it's the auto or events or whatever it is, right? If you're doing a party or an event or a concert, that's what I used to do when I did concert and events. I would send it to all the newspaper editors that did events. And getting publicity in 4 or 5 newspapers is huge because people are reading it. Back then, old school times, people were reading the newspaper. Today, it's more in form of online press releases, right? Like the one I showed you last night with PR Web. We get it out, we get it out, we get it out. We build momentum, we hammer them, we hammer them, we hammer them, right? My next live feed, maybe sometime today, is about this diverting tactics, right? Not, and could be for any field of your life, not taking responsibility, but diverting. You see, that's what he's a master. A true leader takes responsibility in these times, solves the problem. We've given them ample suggestions. Again, I'm repeating myself like an effing parrot, right? But there's no reason for him to take a $45 million salary. He could sacrifice $40 million. Chai, another big money guy, could sacrifice. Logan Green, more than that. He makes more than $40 million. Sacrifice it. John Zimmer, sacrifice $20 million. Right? Put $1 billion, put $500 million to $1 billion into a fund, guys. That's taking action. That's saying, well, we're not greedy. It's showing, hey, we're putting you first, right? Email me. I'm not going through this here looking for your emails, right? Abdu, if you want that copy, you email me. I'm not going to go through 300 messages and trying to find an email, right? So I don't do that. If you want it, you have my email. I just put it out there. You email me. Chris, the same for you. I'm not trying. Well, you know what? Let me do that. I apologize for being so harsh. Let me calm down. I will go through the comments later and look for the emails and email you. Okay, right. It just takes up a lot of time, and I got a lot of things to do. I've got family to take care of, this and that, other drivers, blah blah blah. So, excuse me for being a little bit tense at the moment as well, right? So I apologize. I will go through those comments. I will find those emails that you left, and I will email you. You don't have to email me. Hope that hope that makes me a little bit more human, right? I don't have to be like Dara. I do not have to be like Dara. I don't want to be like Dara, right? We're able to talk in the world of truth. We're able to talk in the world of facts. That's who we are, you know. Facts are is that drivers get on the street and perform their duty, always have. Chris Bowman, those F-tards are running in circles like hamsters on a wheel. Yeah, they are. It's sad, right? It's really sad. These guys that have the means and the power and the money, it's, you know, hey, I made a few calls. I called Turtleneck McConnell. I called Schumer. I called the president. Hey, guess what? I made that call. They're all going to rally for you right now. To dream on, buddy. That's called diversion tactics. You know, a nice letter would be a short intro, gratitude, appreciate what you're doing. Here my 10-point plan, how I'm going to raise money and put the cash in a fund for you. Here's my 10-point plan. Don't say, hey, you know, hey, man, I wrote this letter to the president. I made these calls on the weekend. I told those guys, man, help you out, send you some cash. It's not going to happen, man. Those guys, they're on top. Unfortunately, Washington, D.C. takes care of their own cronies, right? That infectious nest up there of Republicans and Democrats, they take care of their own cronies. Look, both, there was a story a week ago that both Republican and Democratic senators dumped $1.5 million in stock. Both sides, not just Republicans, but Republicans and Dianne Feinstein, Democrat, having this intel, they are taking care of their own selfish needs, right? They dump the stock, and then later on they come out and spin it a different way. You know, just these people are it's just wrong. It's just wrong that they try to capitalize on these times, right? It's wrong that they try to divert in these times. It's easy. There are so many CEOs, true CEOs, that have said, I'll work for $1. This year I'll work for $1 and I will give up my supersonic salary towards the cause. There is absolutely no reason why these bigwigs, why these executives need that type of money right now in these times, right? They don't need those corporate bailouts to cover their supersonic salaries or supersonic employee salaries, right? These people could take a cut. They could easily take a cut. Philip Wong, I'm an investory, but not for companies that don't show promise of surviving. I'm an investor. I like that, Philip Wong. I like that. He says, I'm an investor, but not for companies that don't show a promise of survival. That's nice. It's nice of you to say that. So you have ethics. You know, when I read a thing like that, it shows me that Philip Wong has ethics, right? He's an investor. He says that he buys and sells, but he looks at companies that have ethics. That makes you a person with integrity in my eyes, Mr. Philip Wong. Thank you for sharing that. Thank God there are people like you in this world. And he says, I think that Uber will go bankrupt. I think this will cripple them. I really do. You know, I think that's why they're holding on to this cash, this last bit of cash that they can, right? And then if the ship goes down, they draw their last salary, right? They draw their last salary, let the ship go down. At some point, maybe the money doesn't end up in your account on a Monday. We know the ship has sunk. It's hit an iceberg. But they've made that money. They run and they divert. Hey, administration, come, bail us out. Bail us out. We need a bailout. If you got to ask, you don't know. I like that YouTube handle. It says, how about Uber gives us the full fare right now? They take $0. That's what I'm saying. Just take $1. Or out of 45 million, take 5 million. Give up, sacrifice 40 million. Why on earth do you need 45 million right now? Jose Murillo, I will send it to you. Again, I've sent out 25 of those copies, newspaper, press releases. I will read you my press release that's going out. You guys want to read? Has anybody not heard it yet? Let me read it to you, the press release that's going out. I wrote it on 3/22. It gets published in the syndicate on 3/24. On April the 1st, 2020, rideshare drivers all over the world will switch off Uber driver apps for 1 week and only drive with Lyft. On April the 8th, drivers will reverse those actions and switch off their Lyft driver apps and spend the next week driving only for Uber, making a massive global statement in the process. And no, this isn't some sort of elaborate April Fool's Day joke, although the leadership shown by company executives during the coronavirus pandemic is laughable. As usual, the concern shown for drivers is non-existent as they continue to cater to their investors. I wrote the rough draft. I can't write pretty like this. I wrote it to my PR guy, Andrew Carmen, who's been writing press releases for me since 2002, and he made it pretty. But these are my ideas that I wanted to get across. He understands me well. He knows how I want to say it, and he put it into pretty English language. Outside of the uncertainty of the impending economic slowdown, drivers have to navigate uncharted territory with regard to their own personal safety, continuing to ferry passengers who might have been exposed to COVID-19 while receiving less than minimum wage and no possibility of paid sick leave borders on heroic. Let us show Uber CEO Dara Kaye and Lyft CEO Logan Green that we are a force to be reckoned with and mobilize the 3 million strong drivers worldwide. It's simple. 1 week on, 1 week off. With Uber and Lyft, while Uber and Lyft are writing algorithms to take every last penny from the driver, rideshare pioneers like Torsten Kunert, a veteran driver for Uber and Lyft, continues to operate an ultra-informative YouTube channel designed to educate and assist drivers under the name Rideshare Professor. Through this channel, Kunert has helped over 1 million drivers with tips and advice while reporting on issues of concern to drivers, an excellent resource for drivers during the current coronavirus pandemic. Mr. Kunert also operates the Rideshare Driving School, providing new rideshare drivers with training, motivation, money-making ideas, and online tips on how to file small claims and arbitration cases, right? It's amazing how these multi-billion-dollar corporations have ignored the needs of their most precious resource, the drivers. They forget who built these companies. Uber says that old corporate values such as always be hustling have been replaced with we do the right thing, period. The big problem is that the top executives, we know who they are, have not been replaced and always be hustling new ways to hurt the driver, says Kunert. The lack of direction during this current coronavirus pandemic is just another example of the inability to lead. Join drivers like Torsten this April the 1st in sending a resounding message to Uber and Lyft. Join the movement, hashtag 1 week on, 1 week off Uber Lyft. Very simple. I'll put the hashtag if you guys can circulate this like crazy. Circulate this like crazy. 1 week on, 1 week off. There it is. Dustin Marchant. Dustin, what's going on, my friends? Oh, what's Torsten reading right now? Okay, so Torsten's doing a few things. He is reading the press release that he's pushing out on April the 1st, And then Dustin, prior to that, I read the beautiful letter from CEO Dara Kaye to the drivers, the diversion letter, where he's not addressing it within the company, but he's asking from funds from Turtleneck McConnell and Schumer. Good luck with that. And basically saying he's not taking responsibility, that he himself, Dustin, has the ability to at least drum up $1 billion by saying, okay, 20% rider fees go up, danger pay, goes into a COVID-19 rideshare driver fund, and does like many CEOs who say, okay, I'll take a $1 salary, the rest I'll put into the cause. And we're not asking Dara Kaye to take a $1 salary. What we're saying is give up 80% of your salary. If you have a $45 billion salary, right, surely you can survive on $5 million. You have enough reserves, you have enough stock, right? So that's what we're basically saying here. Then furthermore, I also read the letter that he sent to Congress. It's basically short and sweet, saying, hey, we're not going to address this. Let them solve it for us. Cali Girl SNS Safeway is paying $2 extra per pay for union employees. I mean, they're doing something that's $2 more than this fool's doing, right? Alan Milsman, for fuck's sakes, wake up. Seriously? If you were here right now, I'd give you a good South African flatty. He says, what an April Fool's joke. There isn't any rides, so now you're asking to switch. It's symbolic. We're not driving anymore anyway, right? And the very few that are driving, it's symbolic. You switch off. Jesus, for Christ's sakes. You're making a symbol. You take a symbolic stance, right? Martha Hoffman, incredible press release. Well, thank you. You know, it's calling them out, right? And here I have, here we've put in the efforts, calling these people out, and Mr. Alan Mills thinks it's a big fat joke, right? You do better, my friend. Create your own channel, create your own press releases, go and call press release writers, get them to get you back by the deadline Sunday so that you meet the April 1st. Can you put that shit together, Alan Mills? And don't talk to me, right? I don't need any of your smack right now. Carsmart, with 2 TTs in the spelling. It's a rideshare company based in Palo Alto, says Rick Nelson. Yeah, you know what? We'll flush him. I don't need that. Like, here we are rallying, doing something, getting it into the media, and then these guys are still complaining. I mean, it's like bitch mode. Seriously. Everett Parsons, Daras is a joke. Paula Trigg, there is nobody riding in Tennessee, but we'll. No, I'm just saying this is it's a solid. It's a press release that the public get to read. Right, the public reads this. That there is solidarity amongst the drivers, and they're doing this because the company is not taking care of them. Whether the trips are there or not, those few, it'll even get fewer. This is just a symbolic message, right? Through the press, showing the people, showing the public that this company is not doing much. And then I have a guy like Alan Mills say the joke's on me. I don't think so, buddy. Unless you can come up with better channels, more subscribers, better articles, don't talk. Don't talk to me. You know, we're doing what we can, right? We're hammering away. Yeah, as I said, Turtleneck, McConnell, and Schumer, they can't get their shit together. They're fighting out there, right? Both sides. We need solutions by these guys. They can't. You can't divert and say these other guys, Congress is going to take care of us. They won't. Avi understands that we as drivers are the true soldiers of the company, and getting treated like this just makes it a thankless job, if we can even call it that. Gerald, I'm with you on that, my friend. There's the talkers and the doers. And what we're trying to do here is trying to push for change. Welcome to Kaye's Nation. Dara Kaye and Logan Green are doing nothing for that. No, they're writing a letter. They're writing a symbolic letter. It doesn't cut it. Doesn't cut it for me. Oh, so Mopar Life 8100 says, I got a question. Am I able to file unemployment? I'm confused at this point. So if you're in California, because the laws say you are an employee, you could file unemployment and force the issue, right? To get the ball rolling. They have to look at your case. California has to look at your case, right? Because under their laws and legislation, you are an employee. And I'm not really wanting employee status, and I'm not wanting independent contractor status as well. I want this hybrid where you have the flexibility to choose the company, the hours, right? The trips that you want, accept or decline, with no repercussions, with no retaliation, and you have certain benefits. What I'm saying is that these two sides need to come up with a gig worker law, a new gig worker hybrid law that's all encompassing, right? That covers certain sides on the employees, and that gives the flexibility of the independent contractors. Or if they say independent contractors, treat us as true independent contractors throughout all America, so that we have the ability to accept and decline or set our rates. A true independent contractor can set his own rate. So they say we are independent contractors, but they are not treating us as independent contractors. Rex Righteous, you're saying the letter that CEO Dara Kaye wrote to us is trash. Might as well have written it on toilet paper. Is that what you're saying? I'm with you. True. Eddie Leal says, my wife was laid off this month, filed for unemployment here in Florida. The benefit amount is a joke, but it's better than nothing. Exactly. It's better something's coming in than zeros in your bank account, right? Chains Rage, can you please give me a shout out? Yeah, I just did it, my friend. Guys, go to Chains Rage and subscribe to him. He says he wants some subscribers. Hey, I'll support you, Chains Range. I'll support you even more, Chains Range, if you actually make your first video and send me the link. You know what I mean? That's how I can help you. You're welcome, my friend. Martha Hoffman, looking at public camera feeds, these virtually no one on the streets, taxi and limo drivers are home or working much less. Exactly, Martha. Hit it. Right, nail on the head. Ali Brandon, I don't think so. He does. I don't think he does, Ali Brandon. Paula Trigg, I appreciate you. That means the world to me. It's just and look, 1 week off on the one week on the other, only if you're riding on both apps. So you're still getting trips, but symbolically you're saying to them, hey, I'm switching off for this week, right? And then on the 8th, we reverse. Like if you are out there, if you truly, truly need the money and say, listen, I can't participate in this, I really can't. I understand. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying if you are able to take a symbolic position here or make a statement, do it. Georgie Suzuki, Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. RM Zayas, bravo for Wawa, given their employees a pay raise for working under these conditions. Yeah, you see, that is true leadership. Wawa, W-A-W-A, giving the employees a pay raise for working under these conditions. That is a true companies, man. Ali Brannon, will they? That's the question. Remains to be seen. Martha, thank you. All right, my friends, almost coming up to the 1 hour mark. We have 49 thumbs up. I'll bail out at 60. If we can push my Rideshare Professor thumbs up stock up, like I want my stock to rise from 49. It's rising to 52. I like it. It's rising to 54. It's rising. It's on 50. It's on 55. It's on 55. It's on 58. It's on 60. See, we together, we get the results. Love you guys. Love you guys for that. Dennis Torres in the house. Why drive when there's no business? Applying everywhere, still no work. With you, my friend. AZ, honestly, I still drive and can say my earning went up by 70% because not many drivers out driving. Okay, so let's address that, AZ. So you basically hardcore, you're going to say, I roll the dice, Russian roulette, spin the revolver. This trip, I didn't get it. This trip, I didn't get it. This trip, I didn't get it. This trip, I got it. Think of just what I just said there. Robin Reneth correctly says, Eddie, too funny. We are all God's children. What side is Dara on? Yeah, where's Dara? Is he in the underground? Where is he? I'm with you, AZ, on building your immune system up. Virtual Russian roulette. Exactly. It's virtual Russian roulette. It really is. It's virtual Russian roulette. Let me just give this guy here. Philip Goldstein says, Dara Kamikaze. Everett Parsons, 1 week on, 1 week off, sharing that with all the drivers in Maine. Appreciate you, Everett. Appreciate you, my friend. Ukaman in the house. Ubernauts, we rule. Drivers rule. Wild spirit. We have the wild spirit. We will survive. We'll get through to 2021, my friends. Philip Wong, how are people in jail getting tested like Weinstein? Weinstein, good luck to you, my friend. 23 years. Not going to get easy. Greg Matthews, do you think it's okay to deliver food? I think it's okay to deliver food if you go in very prepared, you know. and you don't have to interact with the person at the door, but you'll only drop it off at the door. That would be my answer to that. But if you go and you're picking up food and the people don't have gloves and things like on, I wouldn't pick up food where the person's trying to hand you the food doesn't have gloves on. Who knows what they, where they've been, right? You have to make 100% sure that the place you pick up the food, the place you deliver food, that there's like zero contact, 100% social distancing. Cool. Rex Righteous, I was already wiping my car down before the pandemic. My daughter is considered high risk. That's nice of you to do that. Never, every single time you get in the car, spray the shit out of it. The handles, the seat belts, the seats, any handle that people can touch. Make sure you have big boxes of this and throw them away afterwards, after every usage, right? Hammer, Dara. Dara, do something. Finally, do something. Don't divert. Don't push blame. Take responsibility. Create a fund. Give up your salary. Raise the rates for riders. Have to pound him until he gets it. Exactly. Pound. They are sitting on mountains of cash. Correct, Steve. He goes out there, hey, investors. Remember, letter, before he even wrote this, he showed where his priorities were. A few days ago, he wrote to the investor, don't worry, we have $10 billion. That letter should have come before that investor, right? The fact that this letter comes a few days after the investor letter shows where his priorities are, right? Wrong or right? A few days ago, letter tailored exactly to investors. I don't know what that means, Jack W0606. Is that some secret antivirus code? Steve Spence from Boise checking in late. Better late than never, my friend. Brett, if I was Uber driver, I would raise my rates. Exactly. So if you're a true independent contractor, you should be able to set your rates right now. You set them as you wish. They take it, they take your fee, or they don't. Period. Greg Matthews, 10 billion in cash with a B, capital B, correct. So that investor letter where he said, don't worry, we have cash on hand, 10 billion. That investor letter came 48 hours before the driver letter. So let's talk about priorities here. Investor first, driver. Just saying, my friends. Just saying. David Turner, I hear you. Steve Penn says, online waiting on ping, sort of busy, early, then nothing. Michael S., yes, I did get your email about Uber refusing to honor their offer of assistance. That's pretty typical. I mean, like you heard them say, go out there, get it. Once you have it, have a public health organization contact us, not your doctor. Public health, or we need a letter. Do you think that they, honestly, do you think that they have the time to write a letter right now, the public health, to the, hey, Mr. So-and-so has this, please pay him out? They know it's not going to come. They know that these people, the public health system is so burdened just trying to scramble to get these type of things, these type of things, these type of things, right? These type of things to their hospital workers. Yeah, they're going to sit down there and write you a letter. Hey, by the way, pay this guy out. He has the coronavirus. Philip Goldstein is going to deflect. He's going to deflect and try to get a big piece of the bailout. Yeah, they'll want a big piece of the bailout. Uber's probably thinking, hey, we need money. It's astounding. In his wording, the employees that we're laying off, we need bailout money for them. And by the way, we also need money for the drivers. What Uber is saying, hey, we need a big part of that bailout cash, just like the hotels, the casinos, the airlines are getting. Uber, the rideshare companies need a big chunk of that money. How much of that, again, trickles down to you? How much will you actually see? Okay, we'll monitor this. He wrote the letters, right? He wrote the letters on March the 23rd. Let's see how much time goes by, right, until you receive a cent from Uber. Let's see. Clock starts now. Yeah, anybody needs a Robinhood account underneath my videos? Anybody needs a Instacart account or anything like it, a Postmates, to sign up? I can give a big portion of my, I can give half of my commission back. I can give 80% of my commission back, right? If you sign up. All right, my friends, we're at 1:10. I got to go check up on my kiddos. If there are any things you can share with me, if you want to email me, if you need those databases, if you want the press release that I wrote, if you want to circulate it, hit me up. Again, you have my email. Don't forget to call San Francisco right now. Tell them we want to see that bailout money. Where's the cash? Ask them. Just leave a message. This is their voice message machine. Where's the money? When can we expect help? Call that number. When can we expect help? When can drivers expect real help? There it is. 415-619-9118. Leave a message on the answering machine, right? That's the number. I'm disclosing it. That's the number within San Francisco headquarters. That's the official number. It's a voice line. Call it. When can we expect help? Call it. Or just tell them, hey, give up. Leave a message. Hey, I'm a driver from Boise. I'm a driver from Miami. We urge the executives, we urge everyone to give up part of their salary, right? Call them, 415, here, 415, call them up, 619-9118. Boom. When are we getting help? When are we getting the much needed help that we need? The cash. Dara Yusuf Zadeh says, Dara stays home and send us to the front line. 100% correct. You guys go out there, you fight the battle, you soldiers will sit here. The generals will sit at home on their computers, giving you the orders, bring back the money. Everyone keep safe. We're on 80. Thank you. Anybody hasn't given a thumbs up, do it right now so we can get the algorithms up. And I will definitely be back sometime this afternoon on 81. Thank you so much. Stock's going up. Our stock is going up. Wishing you all a safe day. Whether you stay indoors or you go out. If you do go out, be vigilant. really do what's needed, right? Go down. Hopefully you can get this at Home Depot. This HDX is the Home Depot brand, the big ones. They go a long, long way. Rafael Espinoza, thank you. Ramin, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Stephen, I appreciate you. Eddie, I appreciate you. Mark, I appreciate you. Ukaman, I appreciate you. Robin, I appreciate you. QGS, I appreciate you. Have a great day, everyone. Be safe, stay safe, and do what's necessary, right? If you're gassing up, don't touch the handles. Use paper. If you're going out in your shopping cart, don't grab the handles. Use paper. Throw the paper away. Buy disposable gloves. Throw them away. Everything that you can do to reduce contact. Even if your kids want to go out and play with other kids, hey, kids, not the time for socializing, practice social distancing. Have those serious conversations at your dinner table tonight. It's not easy, but we have to do it. We're on 86, getting a lot of love from the room here. I'm going to take a picture. This is who we are. And we'll march on together, even if this fool is not going to take care of us, right? You know, his calls, his letters to Turtleneck, Mitch McConnell, and to Schumer, I don't know if they're going to bring results, but it's nothing right now immediate. We need immediate help. And the only way we can get immediate help is if these guys give up a substantial amount of their supersonic salaries, right? Be a leader, right? Many CEOs have worked for $1. Be a leader, right? Don't be a follower, Dara, be a leader. We're on 87, I need 3 more and I'm bailing out. Here we go. I like this. Look at this. Just want to remind Dara Kaye how we operate, who we are, and what type of energy field we move in. This is the energy field we move in. Very simple. We all take care of each other. Thank you, guys. 2 more. And I leave. I promise. 2 more. I'll end the stream. 89. 1 more. That's it. Muchas gracias. Dankeschön. Merci. Dankjewel. Thank you. Thank you. Grazie.